Good morning, Digit fam, and a special good morning to all of our mommy listeners out there. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and I hope you were pampered and smothered in love. And here's how that's tech-related. Yesterday, some marketing guys thought it would be clever for the San Diego Padres to change their Twitter name from Padres to Madres. Unfortunately, someone else immediately changed their username over to Padres, stealing the baseball team's name, which just goes to show that marketing people are sometimes clever, but not always smart. It is May 13th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. Internet from space! I could have added sound effects to that, but let's all be honest, that would just be annoying. But over the weekend, Elon Musk showed off a photo of the latest SpaceX rocket to head into space. This time, instead of toting NASA gear, SpaceX is toting SpaceX gear in the form of 60 Starlink satellites. You may remember that Starlink satellites are SpaceX's constellation satellites designed to beam internets down to the Earth. This test is being called Starlink version 0.9, and it's mostly a test to see if the darn things work. For now, they're packed away inside a Falcon fairing, and yes, there are 60 of them folded together like shirts at Old Navy. On Wednesday, they go up and unfold like when you're looking for that one gray shirt at Old Navy. Once they're deployed, they fly around the Earth at roughly 550 kilometers above the planet. Tristan found a mesmerizing explainer video narrated by quite possibly the world's most boring human. The illustration shows just how congested our skies will be. These satellites will routinely pass within 90 kilometers of each other, which, when you're moving that fast, is not a hell of a lot of room. Add to that there's going to be 12,000 of these satellites eventually, but wait, there's more! Amazon wants to launch over 3,000 of its own satellites for the same purpose. Plus, there are already around 1,300 low Earth orbiting satellites today. Our skies are about to get congested, and if you watch Tristan's video in the show notes, you'll see how these things already look like a Chinese walking team, which is a thing, and if you've never watched a YouTube video of a Chinese walking team, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, so will all these satellites be able to fly our friendly skies and not, crash into each other and fall on our heads? Hopefully? I mean, I'm not a scientist, so seriously, don't ask me, but a lot of smart people think that this is going to work, so what could possibly go wrong? And no, this doesn't get us, meaning me and you, closer to internet from space. I mean, this is a great test and all, but let's just say we won't be part of the beta group. Rather, this is just a test to see how all those satellites will get along and how they can be delivered, stuff like that. We're probably still a long way from a sign-up webpage or handing over credit card numbers. And of course, Elon is tweeting about it. He says, much will likely go wrong on the first mission. Oh, well, that's not reassuring. He also said that 6 more launches of 60 satellites will be required to have minor coverage of an area, and of course, a Twitter user was quick to point out that 7 launches of 60 satellites equals 420, y'all! Yeah, man! Let's head into the roundup! Google is testing crash detection for your phone, which is a cool thing to do and makes a lot of sense. This code, which was found in the Android Q beta, would use your phone's GPS and accelerometer to detect motion and sudden lack of motion, and possibly even the microphone to listen for crashy sounds, I guess? Then it would contact emergency personnel. Google might limit the tech to Pixel phones, though, which is a bad idea. I mean, there's a lot to figure out here, but I honestly hope Google gets this one right. SoundGuys, another podcast in our network, link in the show notes, dropped its full review of the Apple Beats Power Beats Pro Beats. And the conclusion is you should throw away your AirPods, which, honestly, I didn't need a new set of headphones to tell you that, but okay. SoundGuys is calling these the true wireless headphones to beat, pun intended, and it's hard to disagree. Works with Nest is dead. Long live Google Nest and works with Google Assistant. So declares Ars Technica. I mean, I get it. There are a lot of IFTT users out there. Okay, at least a dozen or so, who are going to be mad about this. But honestly, I have a Nest and a Google Home and Philips Hue lights, and I'll be fine. Of course, I bought all that stuff after Google bought Nest, so perhaps I'm not the target audience of that piece. Bottom line, Google Assistant will still be able to do a lot of what you were doing, or I'm just not that creative, and yes, indeed, you are totally screwed. Could go either way. TechCrunch reporter Josh Costine writes that friend portability is a must-have for Facebook regulation, and he lays out a compelling case. The problem with Facebook isn't that it's too big, it's why it's too big, and one reason is because you've built your friends list in Facebook and you don't want to leave because you won't be able to stay connected, or at least you'll have to start over. Friend portability is an interesting idea, although I'm not sure how viable it would be to make your friends list portable, because at the end of the day, what other social network are you going to port it to? I mean, that being said, he didn't say that this is the only thing that was needed, only that it was one thing that was needed, and for what it's worth, I agree on that point. And finally, I have good news for you if you happen to be a plant. Over the weekend, CO2 in the atmosphere reached 415 parts per million for the first time in human history. CO2, you'll recall from first grade science, is the stuff that we breathe out, not the stuff we breathe in. It's actually bad to breathe in too much of it, and there's too much of it in the air. Do you see where we're going with this? Spoiler alert, it's not that we just need to plant more trees, although we actually kind of need to do that too. So that is going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.